It's hard to believe that the Crash Bandicoot series has been around since 1996, so it's been almost 30 years since it's been around. And shockingly enough, the series has never gotten its own standalone film. It hasn't gotten any type of television series or anything like that. And I think that's a shame considering the fact that at one point, Crash Bandicoot probably was popular enough to cross over into like film at some point, but a lot of people know that the popularity of the Crash Bandicoot series started to go off a cliff following the 90s. In the 2000s, it was damn near irrelevant. Within the past couple of years, it started to become somewhat relevant again with the remake of the first three games in the Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy, and then you had the remake and re-release of the racing game as well. And then we got Crash Bandicoot 4 back in, I guess, late 2020 or sometime in 2021. And yeah, a lot of people had nothing but good things to say about it, but the thing is, it wasn't a game that did too strongly in terms of sales. But at the same time, despite that, I heard that we're supposed to be getting a Crash Bandicoot 5 game, or there's been rumors saying that that's something that might happen. And honestly, if that is true, then I'm absolutely stoked about it. But at the same time, I mean, I do feel that, yeah, at one point, Crash Bandicoot was popular enough to have its own film. And honestly, I do think that at some point it deserves some type of, anime or film like release sometime in the future. But I don't think that's something that's necessarily going to happen because a lot of people remember Crash Bandicoot being popular back in the day, but that was back when Sony licensed Crash Bandicoot. But nowadays, I believe Activision has a license for Crash Bandicoot because they're the publisher for Crash Bandicoot 4. And honestly, I do feel that even though Crash Bandicoot's not as popular as he once was, I still feel that a film release, whether it be on Netflix or whether it be a box office thing, I think it's something that would definitely turn a lot of heads and there'd definitely be some appeal in it, even though Crash Bandicoot's name is not as popular as it once was. And yeah, I mean, it's really baffling because I feel like a film release back in the day, maybe like in the 2000s, probably could have helped keep Crash Bandicoot's name fresh, and it probably could have helped him stay relevant depending on how its performance was. Because you look back and you remember the 2000s, for the most part, it was mainly like shooter games and blood and gore and violence and all that stuff was very popular during the 2000s. And even so, like during the teens decade for the most part, it's just, Crash Bandicoot came up or during a time period where I guess platformers and action adventure games were like really popular and it was really a thing. Don't get me wrong, the action adventure genre is still popular in this day and age. It's just that the platform genre in general is not as popular as it once was. And that's basically what Crash Bandicoot was for the most part. The series mainly consisted of platformers, and even though the quality of 3D platformers have gotten better over time, not as many people play platform games as they used to unless it's Mario or something like that. So I do feel that that something special should be done for Crash Bandicoot in 2026, considering the fact that that year is going to mark the franchise's 30th anniversary. But I mean, who knows? We'll just have to wait and see whether or not Activision has anything planned aside for, I guess, potentially a brand new Crash Bandicoot game. But yeah, man, it's hard to just fathom that the series has been around for that long and it never got its own film or television series for that matter.